Hi, I'm Phil Needham with Needham Ag Technologies, and today we're going to be talking about the 90 series opener, which is very similar to the 60 series opener. All of these fit on 1560 box drills, 1590 box drills, 1860, 1890 and 1895 air seeders. And the area of most of the interest is this axle and arm here. We get quite a lot of calls and emails from growers that find that this axle that goes through this housing seizes up on their air seeders or box drills and they can't change the depth. So a little background information, basically what you have is a handle which locks into this cover here. The handle is mounted to an arm and the arm securely bolts around the axle, such as what we show in here. So this axle basically goes through the hub, through to the other side, and the gauge wheel bolts to this arm. But this arm is basically seizing up inside this housing, especially in dry, dusty conditions. Now, it's most common on air seeders or drills where growers aren't using enough down pressure to positively push the gauge wheel down onto the soil surface. So if you're running inadequate down pressure, or you're running in no-till conditions with a lot of wheel tracks or a lot of rocks, that handle basically will vibrate forwards and backwards, wearing bigger slots inside this cover. And when you've got a little play in this cover, before long, you've got a lot of play because that handle starts vibrating backwards and forwards, such as what we see in here, and that obviously changes depth. Now, the other thing it damages this rubber O-ring. So basically inside this housing here, around this axle, you've got a rubber O-ring. And if that arm is constantly vibrating forwards and backwards, it wears away this rubber O-ring, which lets dust into that housing. Even on growers that are regularly lubricating that grease fitting, which lubricates the axle inside the housing, if you're letting dust inside it with an O-ring that's damaged, the dust basically mixes with the grease to cause what we call cake lock failure. Cake lock failure, especially with clay-based greases, is when dust mixes with the lubricant, drying it out, causing that arm to seize up in that housing. And we've seen that a lot in Oklahoma and Kansas, Montana, and some of the areas of Australia also. So if this axle is seized up in your air seeder or box drill, the best thing we recommend starting with is either a Zerk Zapper or a grease buster, similar to what we show in here, to try and get some oil or penetrating oil inside that pivot so you can go around to the point at which the gauge wheel is mounted, basically hooking onto this with an adjustable wrench and probably a piece of pipe 3 or 4 or 5 feet long, if it's a good adjustable, and basically pulling on this arm to try and get it freed up. If you can get it broke loose at all, get more grease or lubrication into this housing, and then go back to pulling on this arm. In most instances, the combination of lubrication and pulling or pushing on that depth adjust arm will free it up. Okay? If you can't free it up using those techniques, about the only thing we know is remove this arm, set this whole assembly horizontally in a press, a large press, remove the grease fitting, and try and push this axle out. Okay? There's only so much pressure you can put on it because you can damage this assembly, but most growers have found that they can push it out if you remove the opener, putting it in a large press. At Needham Ag Technologies, we're always looking for new solutions, and we have some new products available to help in this department. And it basically comes in the form of a new depth adjust axle that has some advantages over the OEM one. We have a new handle or a new arm that fits on there, and we can discuss that. And we also have a new spindle with a triple lip seal that helps keep the dust out and the grease in. All of these new products can be found on YouTube by looking at Needham Ag Depth Adjust Arm and Axle. So you can visit YouTube, you can subscribe to our channel, you can also find these parts on our website at Needham Ag. So hopefully this is a good informational video and if you need more information on these products, you know where to go. Thanks for watching.